I'm Marie Metaphor Specht, and I'm joining you from the unceded Lekwungen speaking territory here in Beacon Hill Park, which is close to my home. And I'm here to share some poetry and spoken word with you in this place surrounded by birds and butterflies and growing things. My first poem is called How Beautifully We Are Unmade. There is a canopy stretched on a boundless loom. The star trails of my ancestors are the sturdy warp of this shelter. It is forever being assembled. It is forever being unmade. There has always been this tireless weaving. In this life, many have offered bright strands of their love pulled from the bottom of their own shelter. Many have unraveled, just a little, for me. I shuttle the weft of their offerings across the warp of those who came before. They coalesce to an indigo tapestry, always in flux. There is enough to fill the night sky 100 times over. There is enough to fill the night sky for 100 generations. The night sky is full with their joy and suffering. So often I forget I am sheltered until I wrap my body in this cloth, my beginning so tangled with its end. Sometimes my skin is woven indigo. Sometimes my scars are star trails. Sometimes my fingers are loom. In this life, I have offered each tiny love and each vast love a thread unraveled from my raw edge. My bright filaments a dismantled shelter in my hands. Look, I tell them, look how you can build yourself. Look how beautifully you can be unmade. This next poem asks us to consider if worry is actually just another form of love. And there's a lot to worry about in this world, and that worry can be amplified when you have little ones in your life. But considering worry as a transmutation of love allows us to work through it. This is called Rather I Worry. Frowning, tight-knuckled at the steering wheel after preschool drop-off, I am remembering his ear. Backlit in breakfast light, all shell pink and orange juice glow, a soft refuge before his parking lot tantrum. It was ignited by an empty water bottle. He wouldn't leave the car, wouldn't enter the building, wouldn't tell me why. Frustration swarmed my face and I couldn't see him through the buzzing. Until I took a breath and ducked beneath our rising anger. Gravel-kneed in the parking lot, I held him eye to eye. Then through salt and snot, he told me it was the granola bar he ate on the drive over. Rather the peanuts inside the granola bar, rather the lack of water to wash them from his mouth, rather the imagined deadly reaction in a classmate, rather the safekeeping, rather the worry. In dreams, my heart expands and contracts with such force my t-shirt billows flapping over my chest. But this is not some exaggerated cartoon illustration of love. It is the pounding panic of each fear, adrenaline rushing my chest in unison. I blame the weight of the world. Rather, I blame the slow apocalypse. Rather, the news cycle. Rather the future, rather the worry. In the aftermath parking lot, the wasps retreat, leaving only aching softness in their wake. I explain this is not for him to carry. Some worries are for bigger hands. Together we count 10 breaths on my fingers. I lock my knuckles into a makeshift shelter and promise I will keep his worries safe. I will hold them, and I do hold him, always. On my way home, I pass the encampment of our city's unhoused. I notice a tent, the backlit orange of a dirty sunrise. Edged with shell pink, it is surrounded by 10 crows, wings pulsing like syncopated lungs. Earlier in the week, driving past the same park, he had asked me why. So I spoke about people doing the best they can with what they were given and without what was taken. Rather, I spoke about choices. Rather, we spoke about circumstance. Rather, about systems. Rather, trauma. Rather, privilege. Rather, love. These are big ideas for a 5-year-old, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. Rather, I worry I'm doing it wrong. Rather, I need to learn how to manage with all that I have been given and without what was taken. I realize I'm gazing at my knuckles instead of the road. When I look up, I'm speeding through a school zone right next to the park. I take a breath and resurface through the buzzing, love. I choose to remember we spoke about love. With this collective shift in the ways we relate to each other that we've all experienced in the last year and a half, I've been thinking about zeitgeist and the ways that groups of humans often heave into new ideas with one mind, or maybe no mind, at the same time. This next poem is called Murmurations. The sound of water falling or rising, heaving with one mind or no mind at all. The rustle of air pushing feathers or feathers beating air, but not at all like a drum or a fist. The shush-shushing as a crowd settles before the show, or a mother soothes an infant, mimics the speed and trajectory of blood as heard from the womb. These countless echolocations map our place in things, much the same as rain can pin down a building if you listen. These ghost harmonies offer an understanding of space beyond our lonely place in it. Murmurations are a temporal, physical happening, not a moment, rather a gathering of time, defined by spirit. Listen, accumulated fallen water carries the speed and trajectory of night traffic to sleeping ears. The man is a vacuum humming, a faucet running, an overhead fan, his features pixelated, his gestures a static buzz. He could be anyone. He is white noise prioritized over music, gradually increasing in volume, and it's getting harder and harder to hear ourselves talk, to think. A vacuum humming, while it sucks up all the air in this room and ejects filth. A sound we grow accustomed to, then eventually fail to notice. In the background of every moment. In the background of every moment. Of every moment, it's in the background. If you listen carefully, there is a disjointed harmony, a symphony of background noise drowning out the melody, a cacophonous choir of old guard baritone. Who knew so few could be so loud? Those so accustomed to casual power, endlessly implanting their opinions where they just don't belong, are swelling to fill spaces, always in charge, and oh so entitled. He was pressed for answers in conference with the unblinking gaze of so many cameras, caught piling words on a podium. It sounded like the far-off buzz of a chainsaw masticating green wood. Those gnashing charcoal teeth soothed by an oily tongue. His voice was an ending, an empty field, confused birds and uprooted insects. His voice was the aftermath of a lost protest song, the tone-deaf persistence that steamrolls hope. Like many others in Victoria and around the world, really, I've noticed the increase of smokiness in the late summer in our air due to wildfires. And recently somebody in my friend circle referred to it as smoke season. Oh, smoke season is upon us. And that just floored me, this idea that there's now a season for smoke because of forest fires. So this is called smoke season. Suppose there is a child with eyes like a break in the clouds. His fingers squeeze nervous circles around a doll. Suppose he is going to school for the first time, but there is a virus, so he meets his teacher outside. Suppose there are tents housing more and more vulnerable people in the park just across from the schoolyard. Suppose there are police cruisers stationed on site, and we know police do not provide safety for everyone. Suppose there is a woman walking her son to school for the first time. She smolders an uncertain path through the dark. Suppose the boy has asthma and the air is full of forest fire, but his small hands can't quite manage the inhaler on his own. Suppose the smoke stays a little longer each season, but she can't let herself dwell on that. Suppose her throat aches just from breathing, and her breaths come too shallow and fast. Suppose her eyes burn just from seeing, but she can't find her way with them closed. The teacher asks parents where learning should happen, inside with windows closed against the air, or outside to escape our exhalations. But there is a virus, but there is smoke, but there is a child with weak lungs, but there is a mother who cannot find her way. Suppose there is a woman leaving her son at school for the first time. Her fingernails press bloody half-moons into palms. Suppose the boy has eyes like a smokeless sky, while her eyes are a makeshift hospital bed. Suppose there are no right answers. There are only small fingers squeezing circles in a mother's open hands.